Phil, I gather you got something interesting.
Absolutely, Mick. I finally got to the bottom.
Right.
And I think we've finally got the actual threshold here for the doorway.
Because you've got a door jamb one side, haven't you?
That's right, we've got the jamb there and we've got a jamb on this side. You probably can't see.
Oh, yeah, I can just see the corner of that.
We've got this floor, dead level.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's going into the middle of the tower, isn't it?
We think we got the tower
Yeah.
with a doorway.
Yeah.
And in there is a cellar.
Yeah.
This is where this is going into.
Right.
At a later stage, they take away the doorway, because
Right.
it's nice stone,
Yeah.
probably a decent door, and they just plug up the hole with these stones. And then they fill the middle in with clay.
So we've almost cracked it. We know when the castle was built in the Norman period, who built it, Hugh Grominil, and why it descends so deep underground, because there was once a cellar at the bottom of it, accessed by our stairs. The only question which remains is when the castle was destroyed, which we'll hopefully solve if we can find any dating evidence for when the door was blocked up. We should then be able to tie it into the history of the other later buildings we're finding in the Bailey. Because in our latest trench, we're not only beginning to uncover a hint of those buttresses,
This is top quality masonry, this is a really high-end building.
but we're also finding dating evidence for when they were built.
This is our star find, this beautiful silver coin. And I've got Helen to have a look at this. And it's one of the Edwards, but it's clipped, so it's not in mint condition.
Right.
Silver, dating from 1280.
So where exactly did that come from?
Well, this came from demolition layer, which is sealing the earlier phases. So can you see in the section there's this big
Right.
brown layer coming through?
That would fit, actually, because if they're revamping the site to build these big 14th century buildings on, then that could easily get into it. Particularly if it's battered and clipped and worn,
Yeah.
that's exactly what you expect.
You keep using this word clipped. What exactly do you mean by that?
Well, it just means that, you know, it's been in use for a long time and they've just taken bits off it here and there.
Let's not mince our words about this. People have been nicking silver
Right.
off that coin.
Okay.
As it passes through,
Yeah.
they've nipped bits off it. And of course, cumulatively, you'd get a lot over
Yeah.
a year or so.
Right, okay.
And it's the reason modern coins, which of course aren't made of silver, have that milled edge to them.
Yeah.
You can see that is the genuine edge. It's not been interfered with. So that shows it's been around a while.
So the date of the coin suggests that the Greys began building their new palatial residence in the 14th century after demolishing their earlier Norman home in the Bailey. And over at the Mott, Phil's finally found something which might tell us how that ties in with the demise of the castle.
Paul,
Hello?
you never guess what I got.
What you got?
I got a piece of pottery.
About time and all.
Yeah, but you'll never guess where it comes from.
Go on.
It comes from the bottom of this rubble blocking. So that piece of pot exactly dates the demolition of that doorway.
Okay, no
if
pressure.
you can tell
No
me
pressure
what
then.
it is.
That's all right. That's Potter's Marston. It's kind of the standard sort of early medieval pottery in this part of the world, but it's glazed and it's quite fine. So probably 13th century, I'd say, by the look of it.
That's very good then.
Well, it's quite useful because the features down there in the field by the church, all the features that date to before the Great House are all producing pottery of the 13th century. So it looks like the demolition of the castle is about the same date as the demolition of all the buildings down there when they were being cleared in advance of building the big house.
Very nice.
Nice one. One piece of pot, look at that.
Well, it just goes to show that you can make one giant leap from one small find and one equally small trench.
That looks awfully like the plinths that were over there, doesn't it? You've got a buttress coming out, and that's what this scar is here, the buttress sticking out. So that would, I think, clearly demonstrate that if the chapel that we're looking for here, or the building we're looking for here, is on the other side of the wall in the gravel garden at the back.
I mean, the radar we did on this side was inconclusive. I mean, we got lots of disturbances we knew, but I'm still convinced if there had been wall lines, we'd have seen them.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
didn't. So, yeah, all the evidence is saying chapel has to be on the
Absolutely.
far side.
And if you compare the geophys results from both sides, I think they seal it. The chapel's on that side of the wall. And if it was anywhere near as impressive as the hall's turning out to be, it must have been rather spectacular. Join Time Team on Patreon to access exclusive 3D models, masterclasses, and behind-the-scenes insights.